relationship from a point of wanting to be saved. Give me quiet slay queens. Ew, honey. They are standards for a reason. Guys, are tsoge ra ba le standards. Yo, re dribbles we. When I go young, you just want unyaka pick me. See me. Oh, this is even when you get into relationships romantically, o ka rotla ka mentality o. Oh, bereka government. O sharp, o set. And whole level okay, ke set bjang. Ba tlo ba la di medical aid, di policy di eng. Mara hani a re je medical aid a re bolele policy every day ka montlong tshwantse re be vulnerable to each other here a ga tempele ya jesu tshwantse go be progressive hampe ditena tsa tempele a se premium e patelang ko momentum le discovery jo ngam 22 mara ke bone ka mahlo abo hore man, this is a very toxic way because it means your standard change depending on who's on the other side abo as your significant other le nna ke be there ko support. No matter where there needs to be accountability, we need to hold each other accountable. And a brand how le status how can be point of departure hambe one le style hambe ko ha wena maluma ha ina nna lava itse those guys like motho lo reng yena o bona kare o guthathela wa kubegala akekho ofana naye akekho wabona hemduma silela hira that part of the sonarena. I don't care if I was born or not, marnarena. Abo kamala mukara watayna might snyalungu the leadership that led the leader to the leading lead. Cherry come to masile. Yeah. So guys, today is one of those days where I know angim nandang, you know? But it's exam season and I'm figuring lo na ai. Hona le chapter ngo sanyo ko procrastinate ngwane tska tla. Mara o borehile mo leng so a re borehe bo botlhe wabo like una le nako nngwe ho bala o no nyake ha sound o nyana tse dingwe so wabo just so you get to because guys re tloha and re tloha here ska se re tlo di register something yona e tlo irahala so ke re thusaneng ho cope so ka se sebaka ka o thusa right. Anyway, angimnandanga today. Like I'm not showing up on a 100, but there's an important message that I want to really drive across that I think will awaken other people as much as it has harshly awakened me. Right? So I had an epiphany, and I'm seeing how much of a trend it is. This is me being vulnerable with you. Guys, this is me being vulnerable with you. And in my vulnerability, I hope I liberate you to be okay with feeling or relating rather to how guys, my nails natural baba acrylic focus acrylic. But anyway, I got distracted there. But I don't want you to feel bad for relating. Guys, he bona ba ka se bolele o tlo bona kare ish kwena felo ka wa hang mara I'll take one for the team and talk. There's a trend that I have seen amongst I don't want to like put it into a particular group. Mara ka hore nna I belong in multiple groups. People like me, hey, I'm a township girl, you know. I'm a tomboy, you know. I'm smarty. I am, yeah. All of that we have. Like a few weeks ago, I spoke about having to tap out or check out of the coping mechanisms that were needed for you to get through a particular phase of your life. And I realize, Pella, when I come here and tell you things, guys, it doesn't mean me, I must start them. It doesn't mean me, go what's like go through. Heading like now, guys, so there's a aspect of my life that I've had to really sit down and have a serious conversation. Okay, I didn't sit down. Marky heavy conversation about whether nickel busy oxalayo. And I thought I should bring it here. There's a pattern that I see with people like us where renali that mentality that there's gonna be someone to save us. And having followed Bovusi Tembekoi from a young age, I've heard him speak about it, but I didn't think I relate to it as much as I do now. I didn't think that message was for me. You are like, okay, I am 16 years old. You are, I'm hearing what you say, but I don't think it's for me. But now I think it's for me, and I think it's been for me. It's just that I didn't have the consciousness to identify Horlina. Ke wela hona moo, wabo. So in Vusi Thembekwayo's terms, he would say, stop expecting a messiah to save you. There's no one that's going to save you, wabo. And at the time, I was so, I don't know, politically within, that I felt he was speaking from a privileged point of view. And shame, I'm one person, I can agree with something today and come back to tomorrow to say, no, upon discovering new information or a new different perspective, I am choosing not to agree with what I said. So at that point, I thought, multiracial schools was Messiah, you know. But now, motho na le right, and maybe in different contexts, maybe because I had to sit down and see how it applies to me, and it hit home, and okay, there are certain contents that you will put out there as someone, and they will not relate with people, they will not land in people the same way, and some of us, it will take years clearly to land, but yeah, we're in a mentality because I remember when I was growing, I can only talk about myself. When I was growing up, I had this obsession with being discovered, with wanting to be spotted by someone. I don't know if because I used to have friends who were footballers, then the idea of being scouted was a thing. But I had this thing, someone must find me and help me get out of this toxic environment, and it didn't happen until I had to come. Okay, maybe when Vusi said it, I understood it in a different way, which I'd like to believe. I came across what he said, and I was like, maybe there's no one to discover me. And if this path of longing to be discovered keeps me in a particular direction, or keeps me on my toes in a particular path that is clearly litmus, maybe I should keep going that way. I think pursuing that path really kept me in line, really kept me aligned, but it was an obsession that I don't think getting out of the township somewhere takes it away. And at the time, it was just good things. I mean, I wrote Tubo Future Leaders. There was a show called Future Leaders. It profiled young people who were doing great things in their communities, or young people who were troubled. Like, I don't know how they scouted. I don't know what was the criteria, but they were not getting Model C people. It was township students who had the potential to lead. They were given mentors. I think the head mentor at the time, it was Shaka Sisulu, Nokonalebo Jessica from YoTV at the time. There were just a lot of people. So you were given a mentor and you had a project, you needed to do it for your community. Hi man, it's a busy one. You know what I'm talking about. And I wrote to that show so many times because I identified with those people. And there were some of them whom I felt, you are taking advantage of this platform. Like, you have a platform and it is saying more, you know? So I felt for the longest time that I deserved certain things I saw from other people. And I could tell, it came from a very, from a place of longing, because I am like, guys, now where I come from, there's no opportunities like these. We're no bees, and I'm writing there. I'm writing to this show every year, every season. It's me in their DMs, in their emails, asking them to come and select me to be a part of the program. You know? And when you pursue life like that, there's a form of toxicity that it comes along with. And I'll tell you, and not only that, even when, like, I extended myself for things that were far beyond me. If DJ's Boo was to go into his Facebook messages, Facebook inboxes, he will find certainly my messages to him about coming to empower the boy child at our school, because I was part of Techno Girl. That was a program meant to empower the girl child. But for some reason, I felt, nah, man, we can't leave our brothers. I had no business worrying about that at 15. But when you are a leader, you just think beyond self. I've reached out to a lot of people. That guy, owner, is it? A production company, Libolindu Ekhatu. why am I forgetting his name now? But yeah, that guy, Thomas Kumete, and other people who I felt at the time were relevant people to like drive a message across. And it's because I saw them do those at other schools. And I felt, mara, can now na Messia? Like, oh, tlo save bang. O tlo tla neng? Like, okay, o ba reng, oh, kwa kwenel mapi, o tlo tla neng, you know, and it never came. It never came. And I don't doubt what I can do personally to meet those people. But I felt at the time is running. There was so much toxic energy attached to that because now you pressure yourself at a young age. Like, okay, if this opportunity doesn't come, what does it mean about you? Because now I felt at some point, I even stopped watching Future Leaders because I felt invalidated. And it was because there was never a point where the spotlight was where I am. Unfortunately, there was never a point where, or maybe I didn't have, or maybe I didn't have the consciousness to realize what there is, but maybe not in the areas that I want. And I went, okay, this is getting long. But the point that I want to get into is that in your adult life, this also comes in when you pursue relationships with other people, romantic relationships. We come from a generation of mothers and fathers and aunts who pursued relationships far differently from us, who looked for different things in relationships than we do, who were not as conscious about a lot of things than us. Kuri witking negole wa bona re mara mo le setletse awa hey mamaholo ka o jaja o setletse mo ore mara mamaholo ra ore mo harabo botle wena wa bo bona ro tope malum John. And it's because we are not exposed to what they were facing then, and they think what we are exposed to is so against what they were experiencing. So we have very different experiences. Mara, back to my point I feel even when pursuing relationships, that messiah mentality also comes in. And I am recognizing this now with, I wouldn't say an experience, but something that almost happened until I had this conversation with myself, right? Where yes, you get into relationships or you pursue relationships where you want to be reciprocated to, you want to be, I don't know, taken care of, surprised, you want to be, you want to be in a wholesome thing. You want to have conversations that are going to build you and all of that. You want something that is going to be really wholesome. But the presence of certain people then make you think otherwise. Because remember, you don't stop being attractive because you committed to someone. And other people don't stop being attractive because they are committed to someone. So commitment is a choice. And it's arguable or debatable whether love is enough. But I'm at a point where me personally, I'm not for love alone being enough. There's just a lot of things that re ka sto ja lerato. Wabo? Like, and it's not even the literal sense of roja, but it's what am I feeding of you? What are you feeding of me? Ikas no ba love, fela. Wabo? Where is respect? Where is boundary? Where are boundaries? Where is initiative taking, reciprocation? Where is safe landings? Because we are imperfect people. And you would need someone who is going to be a safe landing for you to share your insecurities with. So the problem with that mentality, or someone is gonna come to save you, is how toxic it is when it comes to influencing your choices in things and people to relate with. And I say this because I'm realizing now in something that almost happened in my life that I'm like, Maramola, Mola, I think ke childhood trauma. Trauma, is it trauma? Okay, trauma is a heavy word, ne? Childhood what? Yeah, toxic trait. I don't know, toxic expectation. I get like package young, but it's a childhood thing where when I go young, you just want unyaka pick me, see me. Or this is even when you get into relationships romantically, o karo tla ka mentality. Oh, this is me now talking to myself. Or girl, when o karo tla ka mentality o la wa hore le nna ke teng hi se ke teng lampona, and I saw that and I withdrew. Yeah, as I was saying, so this mentality, the downside of it is that you get into relationships with people for the wrong reasons. You get into relationships with people where, because you chose them for the wrong reasons, everything else from there just goes south. And I say this because you'd find that you've got different suitors pursuing you, but you are choosing someone to tolerate things you wouldn't take from the other one, but because of, I don't know, status or their ability and capacity to take you out of the trenches, you tolerate there, you go to your thresholds, in the picture. Yeah, I got it. It's a very toxic way to pursue relationships because now you are getting the, I wouldn't say best of someone, because if you're settling and compromising from the get-go, there's a lot that you're still going to settle and compromise. So I find that people who have been like me and had this mentality, no, someone is going to come to save me. Don't worry, I'm not here for long. So don't worry, someone is going to come and save me. And perhaps also it's a narrative that was perpetuated by our parents. And I understand because bona they are from a generation where indoda saved a woman. It was believed to ho ka kra wa go bereka ko military or o bereka mine botsadi ba rena or wa no kra monnonyana wa le togonyana wa bereka government wa o sharp o set and ho lebella hore okay ke set bjang ba tla go balla di medical aid di policy di eng mara hani a re je medical aid a re bolele policy every day ka montlong tshwantse re be vulnerable to each other. Here a ga tempele ya Jesu tshwantse go be progressive hampe di tena tsa tempele a se premium e patelang ko momentum le discovery jo what to say. They sort of dismiss the idea of having the need or needing to coexist with someone before fitla di life cover di policy di benefits tsa hore o berekela government o phela le nna every day. We need to grow, we need to coexist with functionality. So our parents did not pursue that, and they have a tendency of perpetuating certain narratives bo manyarena o kre motara hai mos o sete o mangi you hai when o tshwarelle mara ke tshwarelle mo depressioning eloreng o deliberately sending himself there. I came look at more insecurity. Like when you dig deep and you really layer down the conversation, as family, and I don't think it's something that when you counteract it, you'll be met with getting ease from people who've done it before. Remember, if Arvengso, for lack of a more insensitive, for lack of a more sensitive example, I'll use this one. If someone was abused, ne, and they didn't leave, your abusive husband, do you think they didn't leave? Remember, do you think they'll say leave? Okrakai courage, ya leave. Yeah, na asa leave herself. Or this is, it's not every day where you find people who are, and I believe in barking rehabilitation, but o ka no rehabilitate olikwa. I don't have to be part of all this is, but again, you cannot expect people who didn't have the courage to do certain things for themselves to come and advise you to do them. All this is so dilo tse dingwe re ka stule ra le batswadi ba rena or bo manya rena or bo all this is, so you can't be shooting yourself in the foot ka 2023 as a young person, early 20s, pursuing life and trying to find stability, kona pursue the career and many other things, and then you want to relationship from a point of wanting to be saved. Give me quiet slay queen, honey, and you can't be a slay queen and be here and go judge hampe. hayi nka o jeja o na le tolerance e nngwe e kotsi hampe if you can tolerate my content o le slay queen. Hi guys, anyway, that's not the point, but my thing is you can't want wholesome things and then pursue relationships from the point of ke mang a nang le capacity ya ho mpha the life that I want in terms of materials, but emotionally go dear me kar. So what I'm saying, Corey, because really that thing has save me, we tend to look for people who can provide to us things we've went so long without, that we dismiss things that are going to help us coexist with them. When I got a financial capacity, like a kwata, a ke kwati, you know, like se happy, aku one sikario when yo o beg like slay queens do, o beg engwe kore a no ringa o fambula, and that then means you are cutting yourself short on a lot of things. I agree a lot of things, mara ka o re hani ba o feel a black card down a choice. I wanna say what this is. So we find ourselves rena batho ba re hotseng ka go nyaka a messiah in our lives to nature. I can't think naturally, mara for lack of a better word, go naturally, because I can automatically naturally like tend to fall for people who can give us the best of what we lacked for the longest time and not necessarily match the person that we are now. I'm not sure if I'm making sense. Like ukra wena grand why it's 1 2 3 irritates you, and then you have 3 suitors here, right? Suitor 1 does it to the extreme. What to sort like motho na le batho ba bang guys, yo motho embarrass mahara batho mara ba re ke motho wa o kila bana batho ba le ba hore or man ho ntse hape na sa itse hotelela ka nna. I mean, nasa itse hotelela until tlhakana le nna. Ho ntse ba wena check in ya ko Mill Park Hotel Garden Court thomilo itse ka nna. Ho ntse thomilo apara LV ka nna. Guys, like mutathomo he ke mputile hampe one le style hampe ko hao. Wena maloma ha ina nwa nna. Lava itse those guys like motho re nyena o bona kare o guthathela wa go begalana wabo. Those people, you know that it frustrates you so much, mara ka hore o na le capacity ya ho tlisa LV honey, you tiptoe around them, you can't have an opinion kore wena o itse go wabo. And I really miss the capacity and ana bokgoni ba ho ba a decent man, a decent guy in a relationship. Mara I'm saying hore this messiah mentality ina le ntho la hore wena o fa Mr Capacity leeway e ntshi. Yeah, wena Mr Capacity ka ra o iro at prove Mr Capacity ha o mo fele chance because ona le ntho la hore there's many options. As a result of that, it means that your standards are influenced by external factors. Wena ka hore motho o na le an exposure to a lot of you, unyaka say pick me. Maybe you're making things easy for you, what they highlight, and that then comes with Mr Capacity having to know to, oh okay, happen na home paliwe ke tlo bona ke style hampe ke tlo bona ngabo as Mr Capacity horo okay wena mara I didn't have to work hard for you. And I'm not saying play hard to get rababa holo ne. I'm not perpetuating the idea of playing hard to get linen selika hampe, but I am saying don't bend and tweak what you claim to be your standards because of who is around. I mean, because of who is on the other side. You know, don't bend your standards or what you claim to be your standards as a result of who is pitching at that time. Because they are standards for a reason. Guys, are tsogera ba le standards. Yo, re dributswi. Wa itse keng o bone gore mara henka se bile di boundary. Ke tlo nonza ke ba le yo ke tlo nonna ke ntse ke na le heartbreak wabo o bone le hore mara henka se bile nthola hore motho a te prove wabo unconvincing, because I mean kweti o tlo mfasa ka WhatsApp. That's quite easy. Wabo if WhatsApp energy can match face to face energy, a re tlogele wabo. Mentality wa ho ba le a messiah is very toxic in pursuing relationships. And I'm saying this because you find yourself having to dismiss even the core value or make them light. Or hore wena long distance a zanga ya o berekela wa itse hore wena ka se sebaka a o nyake monna o na le ngwana yo guys wa itse like you know a lot of things that ha o di batle mara ka hore o na le capacity ya you tolerate them you dismiss them no mandla a ke batle le ke re mandla kwa ko kasi mandla se la graduate lo ntse 10 years sa kre mmere ko mandla ke di batletso mara wena ka hore o berekela FNB lo ka tla le 6 ya bana ho sharp baba like hona le inconsistencies that come along with this idea ya hore o na le capacity le baka ba 6 ho sharp jo cause o bereka na chelete hampo bereka bankeng so bana ba ka sekolo but then same baggage. Like bottom line, the baby mama. Bottom line, are we one? Bottom line, his first are not your first. Bottom line, what's what? Mandla mara because capacity, babe. Oyale FNB, all this, and honale mohung ebenung. You feel how you compromise a lot, and when I get ebeno holds and no cut like it's do katlang, so you compromise quite a lot of things. And then he Mr. Capacity as a kono who fulfill certain things. U feel like you like u feel like I invested a lot. Like when I pressure or this has to work out. My point is because of this mentality, renale that thing here will relate with men from a point of them having to save us. And I'm very young, I'm 22. Mara ke bone ka mahlo. Abo man, this is a very toxic way because it means your standard change depending on who's on the other side. So long distance will not be an issue. 7 baby mamas will not be an issue. You know, and then mandla mandla I'll have a problem with all of those. But le self, you know, long distance is not your preferred setup. You know. And you know you want someone who's going to make time for you regardless of how busy they are. You know when you want someone to communicate, babe, ka jeno ke busy, ke tla bolela le wena ke kreile chance mara go ba busy hampi, le kotsi ka jeno, I have a deadline, I have targets and all of that. So please understand. And then ka dinakonyana babe had a very long day, I hope you had a blah, 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 blah. Sharp good night. You prefer such a person mara ka re o na le capacity ya dilo tse le reng wena go tsosna tsona o nyoko compensate mo dilong tseo at the expense of the things that you want o motlogela wena motho a so boledise 3 days otle a tla ka tsatsi la bo 7 a nyoko te tlhalosa wa utlwa explanation a iri tsona because honey ha ona re mothana nako le wena nako ya hao you know that deep down mara ka capacity ya ho feed the inner child now you dismiss her when pila you want someone who's a good communicator. You dismiss her, hey, when ka mandla o kwata hambe, mandla ka story, wait again, artomo bana motho kwa ka mandla. Yeah, artomo bana motho polo ka mandla. Artomo bana motho, mandla senza para tayo ka rasa mpona, but and kwata fela for 7 hours, mandla sa respond mara, ka okay, you have a different threshold for that. I don't get it because it means you are lying to yourself somewhere. Somewhere you are bending one of your standards. Which ones are your standards? Is it this one or is it this one? And why is the presence of someone changing of your standards? Like when yena kaori perhaps has reached success before you, you tolerate certain things with the hopes that he will carry you out. Look, guys are sexually transmitted. Are being honest with each other. They are not kiss transmitted either. It's either you have the work ethic to pursue things or not. This thing of seeing people as messiah comes with a lot of barracking, sucking up to people. You can't have a true opinion at times because true opinion may take away the black card, that allows you to lunch in certain places. You can't be honest in what you want and articulate it because irritate. Yeah, you walk on eggshells. Relationship, guys. I don't mind walking on eggshells for a client I'm trying to pitch to at work for him to fund or to invest. Maramujolong. How guys? Likwai as eggshell. Arotloka eggshelling because we know mang, and on ring like they've got like these statuses and all of that mara. to relationship with them. And batho ba bona ka re wena o se happy because everyone else knows a side of them where it's applauded, is given, all this victory, glory rather, and all these things. When I tomore le sa mmona le so rakadi hape ngwana ha o ira so ai wa ya ka wena eng hape wena o tsore motho o khetile wena hara batho yo guys o nketelang na ile re na o tlong abuser whether it's emotionally or bang o nketelang like una le batho ba nyoko hore o file ke reng ntwela hore hape ko khetile ene ke khetile as if wena wa kheta hena like it's bana no ra ona di option o bona ka re kena fela na le di option and all of that. So my point here is stop pursuing relationships, romantic relationships, from a point of looking for someone to save you or looking for someone to compensate certain things to the inner child that you have, certain things that the inner that you grew up not having. Guys, o tla bona re bia mara go tsuse re ke reng hape tshwantse ke repe up this video. Or this is hore a man, when it comes to relationships, e ba le di standards tse le reng di change because there's a different phase to that thing, because you don't want to find yourself in a relationship where everyone else thinks go monate mara go monate le wena self wa bona re a go monate o in denial because bana le hore tshwanyana ka whatever it is that makes you happy for motsotso o mara a go monate. It's not a wholesome relation. Lona di questions tse ding like a le di butsisi a o touch di topic tse dingwe because yo tlo mkwati a o rakadi hao make better decisions. Awa ke ntho nna ke tlo botsa yona how many Joyce nahana pila a go be le consistency. Hey lore wena a particular thing is a core value for you, let it be a core value for everyone who comes into your life wanting to relationship with you. Or this is you didn't wake up you didn't wake up one day when uketobali standards. You had to go through things that made you realize why standards are important. And when you have core values and non-negotiables, they are non-negotiables because kile di aba negotiable. It can't be that you see mability mayaga with every person. Yeah, maybe first two, first three, because wow, are very hard to get over. But hey, but once you set something to say, okay, going forward, I guess 1, 2, 3, ke batla 4, 5, 6. Oscar tsatsile ho tlang someone 4 ya ba 2 ya tloga wa eliminator 7 ai hani yabo. Because you are cutting yourself short and you are not relationshiping from a point of authenticity. Because remember, even when you date someone, whether in corporate, whether in music, whether in wherever that the person is, they don't want to come at home or in a relationship to still be, this is where we mask off. Rabolela di nnete tsa bophelo, rabolela di insecurity, di imperfection, ra addressa tse tshwantseng di address. Nka se re ba worshipa kontle kwa ka nyaka ho worshipa even when I need to be correcting you. I don't mind being your number one fan also as your significant other, le nna ke be there go support. No matter where there needs to be accountability, we need to hold each other accountable. And a brand how le status can be point of departure, because henka relate alone from a point of a fan. The mistake it's how nka se di bone and relationship e ka se hole because o no tlo ntso o le right now a kere wena we o kone go ria ba re keng cheesecake. So when o tlo phela o le right wena gape pina ga go re download ka mo ka Spotify rile wena o ne 100 million streams, so o tlo phela o le right, and that is not healthy. As ka mkore a gang tempele ya Jesu banyana baka ka gore I'm feeling gore this thing is more inclined to ladies for obvious reasons. A re ska ba lady standard tse inconsistent tse di tlo changeang go gore ke mang a pitchang at that time. Very difficult, but I am tired. I gitse ka wena nna ngwanetso. I am tired of being in situations where my standards told me gore this person does not qualify, mara because of 1, 2, 3 that maybe is healing to the inner child in me, I got attached. And in being attached, I overlooked my standards. I bended, I eliminated, I did. Only for me to come back 360. I get 360 ke sekele, meaning you start here, you come back here to the same point. That tells me gore mara we bone sa tloga. No e tlhabile e tletse wena wa fa motho chance. I'm tired of having experiences that I saw from the beginning mo, but because nekele attached, and it's something that we need to address individually. Araska ya mojolong for ngwana mongwe tlo hila so wena as yourself are maemeng man ka mkhore kono ye maemang for dilo tse dingwe gore he ba DJ mamang wa tla ko Bram are maemeng and address our inner child's wounds, you know, so that when we negotiate in sobriety. Hore se lo ke standard Oscar mambula hore communication. We bolele ke communication, consistent communication, authentic, honest communication. So bargaining power lies there. Mo goreng o be consistent with your standard, don't bend them. Le nna ka ithuta a se gore ke a o phala. Nna it's just that ke kgono di bolela ka di tlisa mo pele mo ratoloka ka tsona. Ngwana tse yo ke exam season ne re ko balana.